Let me take you on a journey to Phoenix, Arizona.
Come on.
UFOs are among us. South Mountain where the petroglyphs show evidence that the Indians knew all about this. March 13th, 1997, the UFOs showed their presence, the Phoenix lights, and it was seen by masses. Still people hating, still people doubting. Petroglyphs in the sky. Watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona. Sonoran Desert, UFOs are among us. Petroglyphs in the sky. Watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona. UFOs are among us.
Hello, welcome back to the Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky UFO show. How's everyone doing tonight? So glad you guys are here with us. We have a fantastic show in store for you tonight. Thank you for being here. My name is Jeff+woolwin. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Been seeing these UAPs, UFOs, Phoenix Lights ever since I was a kid. So I may be going on a quest to find out exactly what was going on in our skies. I believe I found a lot of answers through the Native American Hohokam petroglyphs carved on the mountains around Phoenix, Arizona over 1,000 years ago. And I discovered that it's in fact UFO sightings. I went on to discover that these UAPs, these Phoenix lights, and other lights in the sky, and other UFOs, if you will, in the skies are drawn to certain areas, especially mountains with fault lines. They absorb this energy. Not only from the fault lines, but the ions and electrons that the sun beats down on the earth. And so these ions and electrons are just floating around over these power sources, this energy sites, these mountains with these fault lines. And like Pac-Man, these things come in and gobble up the energy. Not only do they do that, but they also go into the fault lines. When we talk about spirals are representing doorways, or symbol for doorways. Native Americans tell us that they're symbols, that their doorways are going down into the underworld. On a scientific analysis, they're actually using the energy from the fault line. They're going down into that fault line. Yes, folks, they are going into the mountains and they are coming out of the mountains. I have documented and proved this so many times over the years, starting in 2005 when I first discovered all this. Now I'm in Tucson and we're seeing strange lights over what is now called Mount Lemmon. So we have right in front of Tucson, we have the Catalinas, and then behind that we have Mount Lemmon. And last summer I was filming these lights coming from west to east. Now here's the pattern, right? May, June, July, August, September, all the way to October. They're coming in at different times too. So in May they're coming in at 12 midnight. And by the time they're out of town in October, they're coming in at 3 a.m. All right? So, when we're talking about the energy and the fault lines, I'm talking about all these canyons here. You see all these crevices, all these canyons? These are doorways, all right? The Native Americans would call these things doorways. And so what they would do, those of you who have been following me and seen the videos, they would fly over these energy spots, get real bright, and then move on, and then the next pack would move in. Boy, I'm telling you, we have got a UFO invasion going on here in Tucson, Arizona. And it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, folks. So in May of 2024, they're here and they're just going this way, all right? And they're coming in different times of different months at different locations. You see that? Different locations. And they're going over the mountain because of the energy. Now, what is going on now is they're not only at and they follow the seasons, okay? There's a pattern here I discovered in 2005 watching these things. And it has everything to do with the changing of the seasons. So I knew right after the summer solstice that they would be gone. Right before that. Then after they would come back in January, in which they did. But this time, they're not only on Mount Lemmon, but they're also on, let me bring up my arrow. They are also to the east at the Recon Mountains. So here's Mount Lemmon, here's Tucson right here. Let's move my arrow, there we go. Here's Tucson. Here's Lemmon. First we have the Catalinas. This is the Catalinas. So we're overlooking the Catalinas. And then here's Lemmon, and then there's the canyons right there, okay? Now, over here to the east, we're looking north here. This is Tucson, we're looking north. Now we're looking east to the Recons, and now these things are over here now. They're not only here on Mount Lemmon, but they're over here on the Recons as well. And look at all the energy. Look at all the canyons there. See that, ladies and gentlemen? Look at these canyons there. It has everything to do with the sun, the changing of the seasons, energy, excuse me, natural energy sources around the globe, such as volcanoes and fault lines, and even still some man-made energy sources, such as power plants and nuclear facilities. Yes, folks, I've seen these lights over the Palo Verde nuclear power plant outside of Phoenix. So let's get started on here. So let's take a look. Which one is this? First one I want to show you. This is a few months ago, or excuse me, about a week ago. And let's look at this here. Let's find it here. Let's find it. Let's take a look at this one here. All right. Look at this light here, all right? We're looking, this is Mount Lemmon. Look how this thing is just cruising along over the mountain, all right? And those of you who live in Tucson know that these lights here are the radio antenna lights that's on Lemmon there. And look, it's going right over that area. Look at that. Isn't that crazy, ladies and gentlemen? Notice how it's not blinking. So we know it's not an airplane of any sorts, okay? And it's certainly going a lot slower than any airplane. And it's going right over. This is the Catalinas, but behind here is Mount Lemmon. So this is the Catalinas that we're looking at here. So they're flying over Mount Lemmon. And this is cool too, because it's going to come up over here to the east of the antennas. We have a road up there, and I think it's like construction. And we can see right here, those are car lights, okay? And so this thing is going right over the cars there. And so those people have to see this light, you know? Because it's going pretty much right over them. I found this very amazing. Let's back this up just a second. So here it is. And it's heading towards the road. That's a road right here. Those are car lights. See that? So these people in those cars, they have to see it. And I even think they stop. You can see them how the cars kind of stop. Those are their headlights. And then you can see on how the direction of the headlights are facing. See that? So the cars are stopped now, and the headlights are facing this way. So it's very possible that they're watching this thing too. I mean, you can't miss it. Look how big that thing is. And it's going right over their heads. Is that amazing? Is that just amazing? This is what's going on here in Tucson. And, it's interesting that, no one really is talking about this. Nobody really knows about this. Now, there's a lot of people who have been following me on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. And a lot of people here in Tucson now are starting to see these things, and they're asking me, what kind of camera I'm using. I'm using a Night Vision XP goggles, all right, with a memory card. Now, this type of camera doesn't have audio. It doesn't have a mic, so this is the reason why you won't hear anything on my Night Vision films, is because it doesn't have a mic. Okay, let's take a look at another one here. Alright, so this is what it looks like. A viewer sent this in, who wishes to be anonymous. A viewer sent this in. This is great stuff. Now, this is what it looks like when you're not using night vision. Okay, this is what it looks like when you're just looking up into the sky. Let me just go ahead and bring this up to full screen so you can get an idea on what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and play this. All right. Look at that. See that? See that light there? This is what most of them look like when they're bright enough to see them. So some of them lately, see, they're kind of being stealthy. And they really don't want to be seen. All right? And so a lot of them are coming over the mountains, and the only way to see them is to use a night vision. Is to use a night vision camera. That's the best way to see it. Because they're kind of being stealthy. Alright? They don't want to be noticed. They don't want to be seen. Alright? They're coming in, absorbing that mountain energy, and then flying off. Let's watch that again here. See, it's like a little ball of light. It's going across the sky. And we know that it's not a satellite because it's too close to be a satellite. All right, satellites are really pinpoint looking lights. All right, you know, and they're going in a certain direction, and they're not, you know, changing directions or anything, you know, or coming from a different direction. And so we know that this is not a satellite. This is what it looks like during the day. So many of you have probably seen these things and just disregarded it as a satellite, but you know, it's way too close here. It's not in you know, way out in space. It's right here in the atmosphere. There's a lot of stuff I would like to show you. So let's look at one more video. Okay, so this one here I filmed a few days ago. And let's go ahead and watch what this thing does. So at first, we see a light here, all right? And it's moving behind the Catalinas, behind Lemon, all right? You can barely see it. It's a little light, all right? And look what it's doing. It's going behind the hill there. And then a little bit later, it's leaving the mountain. There it is. It's leaving the mountain. And look, we have a helicopter. We're going to talk about those things here in a minute. All right? Look. And we know, look, see how the helicopter is blinking? This thing is not blinking. All right? And it's moving straight up. It's coming out of those canyons that I showed you just a minute ago from behind Mount Lemon. And look, it's going straight up. Look at that. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's see what happens next. This is fascinating, folks. Watch what happens next. This is going on. These things are here. They've been here for a while now, man. And more seems to be coming. Okay, that's the reason why, we're talking about them today, that because the Air Force pilots and all these other people, they're seeing them. All right, there's something here. So they can't deny it anymore, because too many people are seeing them, right? And you're hearing it here first. All right, on what's going on. Okay, there's another helicopter there. See that? So there are people watching this. And I noticed this in 2004 when I was filming the Phoenix Lights in 2004. These airplanes and these helicopters, yes, they're monitoring what's going on out here. Right? And so this information hasn't been released to the public yet, but I'm telling you, it has everything to do with the energy and the fault lines of the mountains. And sometimes these power plants are bored down into these fault lines, right? Generating this energy to turn on our lights, okay? And in the same token, these things are going right over these energy sources, these natural energy sources, these fault lines, with the ions and the electrons. Okay, now look what happens. There's another one. There's two more there. Look at that. Here's that one that was moving up. He's over there. Two more here. You see that? And look at these two here. Look, where'd those two come from? Isn't that amazing? They're dropping down out of the sky. There's one there. Look at these two here. Look how perfect that is. Look at them dropping down, heading towards the fault lines, heading towards that energy source. You heard it here, folks. This is what's going on. The other UFO hunters and all these other shows, they haven't came to this conclusion yet. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And I can honestly tell you that the reason why they're hanging around these mountains is because of the energy. All right? And that's what they're feeding on at this point. It has everything to do with the energy, the fault line, and the sun, and the seasons. All right? So here we just ended March. It's March 2nd right now, 2025. All right? And so these things are not only on lemon, but also the recon now. And I'm always looking for day sightings, and yes, there was a day sighting that happened, and I'm going to show you that. But right before March 21st, look at that. There's a helicopter. See that? They're watching these things. Look, he's going right in between them. Is that crazy? They're still falling. They're coming down. Look, perfect formation. They haven't moved. They're still in that formation there. And look how they're kind of dimming out. Notice that? And that's what I'm saying. They're being stealthy. Right? And the only way to really see them is using a night vision. Right? This is the reason why a lot of people don't see this yet. And so they follow the seasons. And so right before March 21st, they should probably start to be slowing down and wrapping up. Right? And then after, especially in the spring, that's when the day sightings should start to become more active. Right now, the day sightings are here, but they're really hard to spot, and it's very few of them. Look, those things are right there. They're still there. They're going down on the mountain now. It's going to go behind that tree. There's the Mount Lemmon antenna lights, and so these things are right there, and they're going to go right down behind the mountain there to the fault line. Is that incredible or what? So there has been day sightings. A viewer contacted me a few days ago and said that they saw one. And you know what? There's like, instead of black helicopters, we got white helicopters now. And what alerted me to this one day sighting out here is this helicopter was flying way up there, and then it stood still. It stopped right in the middle of the sky, real high. That's abnormal for these helicopters, and it's really high, and it just stops in the sky. Well, when I started looking more, it was monitoring. It was checking out this light orb that was kind of pulsating in the sky there. So let me give you a position of where I'm at here. Let me give you an idea on where I'm looking at here. So we have the perfect strategic spot. We're right here in this area here. We're overlooking the Recon, and we're overlooking the Canalese and the Mount Lemmon. All right. So we're right here in this area. We're right on the corner here, okay? I can see all the way west of Lemmon, all the way to east, and then I can see most of the Recons. All right, the Recons go way out here, and I got someone out here, down this area, who's been seeing them also around this area. After he saw me on YouTube or one of the Facebook pages, he contacted me and I told him what to get, and now he's seen him out here also. But my vision is only about right here, right? Because this mountain, it goes way back, and I'm kind of right in this area here. So my vision, I can only see about here, and there's a tree in my way and blah blah blah. But I can see all of Mount Lemmon. And so, you know, when I was doing this in 2004, when I was watching the lights in 2004, and I was making the news, I did like 4 news stories, and the end result was we're all seeing flares 150 miles away in Tucson. Right? That was just crazy, because these things were here in the city. They were right there by South Mountain. But I noticed these airplanes. Remember I was telling you about the airplanes? So they're circling. And it's over, these things are over this power plant that's on the east side of South Mountain, and it's bored down into that fault line, right? And so these lights would come in, and they'd hover over that power plant, and then they would disappear. And then more lights would come in, they'd hover over that power plant and disappear. Those of you who are living in Phoenix, it's off of Ray Road. Check out Google Earth, watch my past shows, I talk about this. That's a hot spot in Phoenix. This is what the Phoenix Lights is all about, is because of South Mountain and the energy and the fault line. So I noticed these airplanes, right? And they're circling, and then as soon as the lights would appear over that power plant, the airplanes would come in and would try to chase them out of the area. At first I thought maybe they're there to investigate them, to check them out, but no, I soon learned that they were there to chase them out of the area, to try to get them away. And sometimes it would work. Those airplanes would zoom in after these lights, and the lights would, slowly disappear. Airplanes would go over there and circle, airplanes would go back up. Lights would come right back. But then sometimes those lights are like, nope, I'm not moving. And those airplanes would just come in and get as close as they can, because they can't get too close to them because of their energy. They're absorbing the energy. And if you get too close to these things, too close to these beings, you're going to get killed from the energy. I just know it. There's so much energy. And these aren't crafts. I've been trying to explain to the UFO network, for years. I was the first one to discover this. This is not crafts. This is not technology. Each light you see out there is a living being, is a living creature. Much like, the fireflies. How they light up. Okay, well, when these things are absorbing energy, they light up, right? It has everything to do with the energy that they are harnessing, that they are feeding on, right? And they use this energy to propel themselves through the sky. I talk about that in past shows, and I actually show a jellyfish UAP, the very first ever recorded jellyfish UAP in 2005 in the United States was filmed by myself in Phoenix, Arizona. And he actually showed me the energy. And so you can go take a look at that. That's in past shows. I think you can see that in my Tucson MUFON show. And so once I moved to South Mountain, not only am I dealing with airplanes, but I'm dealing with helicopters also. So after I was making the news in 2005, I started noticing this airplane hanging around my apartment, right? And they would follow us all the way to Mesa Community College, where I was seeing these lights at, overlooking South Mountain, overlooking the city. And the airplanes would sit there and they're actually watching me now. Some of them were flying right by me, okay? I have all this on film, right? And then when I moved to South Mountain, not only am I dealing with airplanes, but they have got black helicopters out there on South Mountain. And it was interesting too, because sometimes these helicopters would fly in and they'd circle this area, right? And then they would leave, and then like 5 minutes later, a UFO would leave from there, or one would come down and go into the mountain right in that area there. And so now let's take a look at this real quick. This happened 2 days ago. Okay. So I have my telephoto lens going on. This is why you see a circle. This is a telephoto lens, because I'm ready for day sightings. And so when I saw this thing heading towards me, this helicopter, I decided to jump on the camera. And see that thing? It's coming right. It's flying right by me. Okay. This is a military helicopter. This is probably one of the ones that we're seeing in the night vision films. And so now I take off the telephoto lens to get a better look, and look where he's at. Okay, he's going right over, right in this area, right? So the recons are here, and there's part of the Catalina's right there, and he's heading right over to this area here. Those of you who have been following me, let's pause this real quick. Those of you who have been seeing my sightings in 2024 last summer, recognize that pole. Okay, because that's when these things were like in October, all right, and these lights was hanging over this mountain, right? They're coming down, going down into that mountain there, and there's that telephone pole there, okay? So I just want to clarify that there, get a good reference for those of you who have been watching my films, all right? So now where is he? There he is, and he's going over Mount Lemmon. Those are the Catalinas, and Mount Lemmon is right behind there. But look at it. There he is. Okay, he's flying right over the mountain there. Right. So yeah, they know that I'm watching those things, and I've even had an airplane fly by me. All right, and then what he'd do, he would go right over to those lights. Okay, over the mountain there. So yeah. They're watching me now, which is fine because I'm not doing anything wrong, and I'm just bringing this to the attention of the public because nobody else is, all right? And look, I'm just bringing the evidence to you people. Look at that. See that there? That's the Catalinas, and then Mount Lemmon he's right there. That's how far Mount Lemmon is, all right? That's how far we're able to see these things coming and going from. And I'm going to show you the iconic mountain range here, right over here. Everyone who lives in Tucson is familiar with those Catalina Mountains there at the end on the west side, and that's exactly where he's heading. Okay, so he flew by my apartment. He came right up to my apartment. He went over there to the east side by where the Raycons are, right? Going over Mount Lemmon and to the iconic area, to the famous Recon Mountains on the east side. Isn't that incredible? So yeah. Why are they doing that? I don't know. I mean, maybe just to... I don't think they're more trying to intimidate me, but just maybe just let me know that they're watching me also now, which is okay because, you know, someone's got to get this information out, all right? So right around, and we're going to pause it, right around in this area here, so there's a telescope up there. There's an observatory up there. And it's right in this area here, right? And those lights are coming right down in this area. So those people up there that live on that mountain, and especially the observatory, you know, they've got to see these things. You know, they have to see these things. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look at this day sighting. And, you know, I didn't have a tripod at the time. This kind of sprung on me. It all happened so fast that I wasn't really ready for it like I should have been. But now I am. Okay. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this day sighting.
There he is. Yep, gotta find my tripod.
This happened right in front of my apartment.
Yep, I gotta find my tripod for this camera. Oh man. What the hell? Okay. Let's look for more. There was a helicopter flying around, man. He kind of flew to this one, and I couldn't get it on film. But this white helicopter was kind of flying around him. Damn it. So Mount Lemmon, looking over the Catalinas, is right there. Okay? And this thing is right above it there. Where the hell did it go? There it is. And it does seem like he's moving closer to Lemon. Damn, where'd it go? There. Yep. Shoot, I'm gonna have to find my tripod for this camera.
So let's go ahead and bring up what it looks like. I forgot to add this image in, but let me do it real quick. And so yeah, so the day sightings are here, but it's really they're really kind of hard to see, and it's not that much of them, so it's not that frequent yet. But they are here, all right? So, and I think, you know, after the March 21st, we're going to see a lot more day sightings, all right? Isn't that incredible? Okay. Now let's take a look at this. This is interesting too. Remember how we're talking about helicopters? Watch this. I'm not sure where this is filmed at, but check this out. Isn't that incredible? Look at that helicopter. He's following those lights. A viewer sent this to me. Isn't that incredible? And it looks like there's a mountain over there, so yeah. Well, it has everything to do with the energy. Look at that. You know, it's a helicopter because he's blinking. Isn't that something? That's a great video. Thank you for sending that to me. I love it. That's great. Well, I just deleted my background, so that's what happens when you're doing things and you're not paying attention. So let's just remove it. So we're black background. Yay! Okay, let's move on. So we know that the sun is making the ions and the electrons in combination with the fault line, which is energy. And these things are absorbing the energy because of, you know, just the way the sun is positioned, right? Because the changing of the sun, the changing of the season. So when the sun aligns itself with these energy sources, it attracts these beings to these energy sources, whether it's a volcano or a fault line or a nuclear power plant. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's a lot of energy there, these things are going to sit there and absorb that energy. Now, we can't get away without talking about some petroglyphs. Now, this is a petroglyph panel in Phoenix. Okay, look at all this stuff. This is a rock art in Phoenix. Okay, and we're going to start off with the spirals. So the spirals are symbols for doorways. The Native Americans tell us that they're going down into the underworld, but on a scientific analysis, they're actually going down to the energy, to the fault line. So when a spiral ends down, it's mostly, and look how it's like kind of pointing at this stone here. So this stone is the emergence point, is a place where these things come and go from, this stone here. And when the spiral goes clockwise, it's a doorway in. When the spiral goes counterclockwise, which this is doing, counterclockwise, it's a doorway out. When the spiral ends up, that means there's a vortex, there's a doorway in the sky. Okay? Then it's pretty hard to see, but then they call these things lizard man, and these lizard men are actually jellyfish UAPs. All right, and we'll get to that within another show. And then look at this here. We have a guy, a man, right? Stick figure guy looking up at jellyfish UAPs. See that? And over here, there's a jellyfish UAP here, right? All these strange looking marks, okay? These are all prehistoric UFO sightings, all right? Now look at this, okay? Why is this carved high up? Why do we have to look high up to see this glyph here? Well, because the artist is telling us he wants you to look up into the sky, because he's telling you, look, I saw this in the sky. And now look, there's a spiral there. See the orb? Look at the orb, all right? Let's bring this up a little bit more, all right? We can see the orb. and the spiral, all right? And there's like this crack here. So the spiral, and it's what? It's going counterclockwise. So the orb is coming out of this doorway here, along with this other jellyfish UAP, all right? And he's coming out of the doorway. You see how we can understand these petroglyphs now. Here's a major door. Look at that. And look, it's going right into this crack here. See how it's ending? See how the spiral is ending? And again, it's going counterclockwise into the stone, or out of the stone, because these things are coming out of this area. This is the emergence point, or a doorway out. And then we have these guys here. Look at these people here looking up at two orbs in the sky. I mean, we just can't get any more plainer than that, folks. All right? This is in Phoenix, Arizona. Is that amazing? This is Phoenix, Arizona. And we're seeing the lights now, and the HOCOM saw the lights, and they recorded them on these rocks because they didn't have video cameras. They had stone boulders to record their sightings in these places where the event took place at. This is the reason why in some areas of the mountain we find petroglyphs, but other areas we don't. It's because nothing happened over there. Nothing happened where there's no petroglyphs at. It happened where the glyphs are carved at. So when you see a glyph there, that is a written testimony. That is a prehistoric photograph of what happened right there in that spot. Now, not all mountains are sacred mountains. Not all mountains with petroglyphs are sacred mountains. And when I say sacred mountains, I mean where these lights and these UAPs, these creatures, visit this mountain. I'm not saying crafts. They're not crafts at all. These are living beings, living creatures. Okay, I've seen them firsthand. They've been flying by my window ever since 2005. If I thought they were crafts, if I thought it was nuts and bolts, and if I thought an alien was in it, I'd tell you that. That's what I was thinking when I started this. But as I learned and I watched them and I understand the petroglyphs, and I climbed the mountains for many years, I soon realized that this is not technology at all. Don't get me wrong. I have seen some things in the sky that could resemble a craft. I've seen flying jacks in the sky. I've seen a black triangle. Could be a craft. Don't get me wrong. But I think the majority of what the public is seeing today is something different. Okay? These things are alive. These orbs and lights and stuff. And jellyfish, man, these things are alive. I discovered the jellyfish UAPs in 2005. The evidence is overwhelming. I had to wait over 20 years for the public to finally start seeing them for myself. So the mountains with spirals on them, the mountains with anthropomorphs, all right, jellyfish, strange-looking carvings, what we just looked at there, all right. Those are the sacred mountains, all right. So there are mountains out there with petroglyphs, and it's talking about hunting and gathering. It's talking about ceremonies, okay. No spirals, no anthropomorphs. The spirals, the anthropomorphs is what we're looking for in ufology to understand where to see these UFOs at. Because mountains are the source. It's the source. It's where to see these UFOs at. You want to see a UFO? First, investigate your land. See what the Native Americans say about your land. Then go check out the mountains. Look for the petroglyphs. Look for spirals. You got spirals, you got anthropomorphs. That's where you want to look. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me in this broadcast. My name is Jeff+woolwin. Go ahead and check out that YouTube channel right there. Get your phone with the QR code. Find me on YouTube. All the descriptions of my YouTube have other goodies there, other links for you to check out. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and we will see you next time.
Let me take you on a journey to Phoenix, Arizona. Come on. The UFOs are among us. South Mountain, where the petroglyphs show evidence that the Indians knew all about this. March 13th, 1997, the UFOs showed their presence. The Phoenix lights, and it was seen by masses. Still people hating, still people doubting. Roosevelt came through and destroyed all the petroglyphs on the mountain, cause they knew they amounted to something, but they didn't want to admit. Now we got rumors of a UFO base under the cliffs. Vortex is letting out lights day and night. I wonder what's happening on the walls, what they write. When the light shines just at the right time, you can see snakes devour the heads of mankind. Petroglyphs in the sky, watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona, Sonoran Desert, UFOs are among us. Petroglyphs in the sky, watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona, UFOs are among us.
Reflecting back on history, I'm from Arizona, so you know I spit heat. There used to be some Indians running around here with some pens, marking on the walls. And now, it's a new cause. They say it has something to do with UFOs, y'all. I don't know, they put a connection together. I might check it out, and even better, I call up someone like Prophet. He's got video camera equipment, and a partner by the name of Jeff, who's got it on video camera, don't test. We got real live information. You know what we saying?
It's like I saw a vision. Looked at the sky over South Mountain, saw a glowing prism. Flying in the sky, moving left and right. Kinda hovering and goes out of sight. All these UFOs gotta say something about the petroglyphs being all the truth, all the ancient myths of spirits in the sky. Maybe these were starships, Indians wonder why. In the future, when times get rough, we'll all return to the mountain to get the answers to the question of humanity. All these ships, cure insanity. Petroglyphs in the sky, watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona, Sonoran Desert, UFOs are among us. Petroglyphs in the sky, watch them UFOs fly by. We in the southwest Arizona, UFOs are among us.